wishes her career.
But by the late 1960s, the troubles began. Violence, both Republican and Loyalist, mostly dormant since the early 1920s, reasserted itself, blackening the mood of the country.
I just seen that pall of gloom descend on everything. And people walking with slumped shoulders and no activity at night. People wouldn't go out at night. There was like live entertainment was not happening. It was very dark, and what we badly needed then was a hero.
It was a very difficult time. It was a very sad time, treacherous time. And every corner you turned, the flagstones were painted one colour or the other.
Barry McGuigan was a Catholic, born in the border town of Clones.
I spent my life sort of crossing divisions and crossing barriers and borders and breaking down these supposed no-nos. And it was very important to me. I mean, the girl I grew up with and I loved, she lived across the road. She happened to be a Protestant girl, and she happened to go to school in the north. And I'd spent my entire life travelling into the north, boxing in the north, just not taking notice of the potential dangers.
That's it. And McGuigan is through to the last...
During his amateur years, McGuigan realised boxing could be a unifying force.
When he really got those...
I think sport has a unique ability to bring people together, different races and different religions. And I've seen it in my own life. I'm proof of it. And, you know, and Danny Boy had a lot to do with that too.
At the beginning of the 1980s, now a professional featherweight boxer, McGuigan had a quick succession of wins. Then, in 1985, he challenged the Panamanian Eusebio Pedrosa for the biggest prize of them all, the world title.
We knew that when I fought for the world title that we would have to play an anthem. I didn't want to play either the Irish national anthem or the British national anthem. It was important that and all the way through my career, I didn't want people feeling ill at ease going to my events. I wanted them to feel not threatened, because there was enough threatening stuff that was going on all around us. And so we all decided that Dad would sing Danny Boy.
Barry's father, Pat, was a professional singer and had been Ireland's entry in the 1968 Eurovision Song Contest. But in 1985 at Loftus Road, this would be the biggest audience of his career. It was Phil Coulter who arranged the version of Danny Boy that Pat would sing that evening.
Would Pat have the bottle for it? Because bear in mind, it's Barry's dad. He's fighting for the world title. It's a very emotional song.
And down the mountainside, the summer's gone, and all the flowers are dying.
It was very important to me, but it was also very important to him because he was telling me how much he loved me. And I was going into battle, and I was doing something that was very dangerous. And you know, lots of people have been killed in boxing bouts, and so for him, it was not just singing to the audience, but it was a message to me.
But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and when the valleys hushed and white with snow.
Jim Sheridan was there that night.
It was electric, yeah, it was really powerful. And we needed that win, you know? Needed that something good to happen.
was a religious event. You know, it was, everybody was singing it. I looked around and everybody was singing it because we were getting behind our boy. We were confirming our Irishness.
Pedrosa, 5'10", 4 inches tall, long reach.
The world title fight went to the very final round.
The McGuigans.
And Paddy Byrne in my corner said to me, "Barry, you have got 3 minutes to beat one of the best featherweights this century." And I went, "Is this the last round?" He says, "Yep, it's the last round." That's how pumped up I was, that's how enthusiastic I was, and that's how driven and determined I was. And part of that drive was to make sure that I would win it for the people of Ireland, North and South.
A unanimous decision. Barry McGuigan
McGuigan has won it. McGuigan is the champion of the world.
I think it's Seamus Heaney says there was one amongst us who stood taller than the rest. And for such a short fella, he stands very tall in our history. And he is absolutely a prime example of how when you're the best at something, regardless of what somebody else's politics are, that's enough and people will follow. And he became absolutely the epitome of what it was to succeed at sport and to rise above political division.
Danny Boy had shown the world it was the perfect vehicle to bridge the divide between the two communities.
The song is probably the greatest ballad that was ever written. And the words are very clever, but the melody is the thing. You can wrap that melody around everything, and it means so much to you. And you know, if you look in Sunshine or in Shadow, the song is both uplifting and melancholic. I'd like to think that I brought some sunshine to people's life when I was fighting. I know I did. And the melancholy was also something that they could remember, and they could relate it to, you know, to certain aspects of their life. And Danny Boy is just a hugely amazing song.